Welcome to Maudsley Learning's Online Learning Section 12 Introductory course. This is a blended learning course, which means we combine self-directed e-learning with live online interactive sessions. The course has been developed by psychiatrists, lawyers, approved mental health professionals, and most importantly, service users and carers. You will come across all of these experts over the course, both in the e-learning and the interactive sessions. Please do use the opportunity to ask questions. My name is Dr. Penny Brown, and I'm a consultant forensic psychiatrist in SLAM, South London and Maudsley NHS Foundation Trust. I have a long-standing interest in understanding how mental health laws work, in particular how we use the law as an intervention in medicine, especially psychiatry, and the impact this has on the people it affects the most, our patients and their families and carers. There is something intrinsically paradoxical about sectioning people. We enforce detention in an often strange and frightening place, and we enforce treatment with unpleasant medication, often against people's wishes, and all at the precise time they're the most unwell, the most vulnerable, and the most distressed. It is essential that we as practitioners understand the law and the impact this has on those most affected by it. So while this course teaches you all the things you need to know to enable you to complete the section papers, I hope you will also gain greater understanding of the principles underpinning mental health laws and how best to apply these laws to maximise human rights, minimise inequality, and improve your clinical practice. So what does Section 12 actually mean? Section 12 is a section of the Mental Health Act which specifies the requirements that apply to medical recommendations, or MedRecs, which are made to support the application for detention of patients and guardianship applications under the Mental Health Act. The application itself is made by an approved mental health professional, or in some cases, the nearest relative. Section 12.2 specifies that when two MedRecs are needed, one must be made by a practitioner, a doctor, who is approved for the purposes of that section by the Secretary of State, i.e. Section 12 approved. Section 12 approval is also required when reports or evidence is given under Part 3 of the Act for forensic sections. The approval in Section 12 approval comes from the Secretary of State or the Welsh ministers for those seeking approval in Wales. The approval function is delegated to an approval body, and there are 4 approval bodies in England: the North of England, Midlands and East, London, and the South of England. Doctors must submit their applications for approval to their local approval body, and contact details are available in the welcome email and on the Maudsley Learning website. To become approved under Section 12, you need to do more than just attend this course. With your application, you'll need to submit the certificate of completion of the course, which is valid for 1 year, and you'll also need to provide supporting documentation depending on your status. Always check with your approval panel what you need to submit in your own specific case. Once you've submitted the documentation, the panel will consider your application and write to you with the outcome. You are only Section 12 approved when you have received confirmation of that approval. This is really important, as you may not be able to carry out certain functions until your Section 12 approval is in place. I'll remind you of all of this at the end of the course, and I'll be able to take questions in the interactive sessions. I'll leave you with a reminder of the learning objectives for the course. Throughout the e-learning and at the end, we'll ask you about your confidence in each of these areas, and we hope that this improves over the course. There is a huge amount of ground to cover, and we don't expect you to remember every detail. Therefore, we'll signpost you to books and online resources, and links to these are available on our website if you ever get stuck in the future. You'll also have access to all of the course materials after the course is finished. I'll see you again in the interactive sessions, and in the meantime, I hope you enjoy the course.